So last night, Tom Aspinall shocked the world, knocking out Sergei Pavlovich in the first round, disposing of him even easier than previous opponents he's faced. Many thought Pavlovich would get the knockout, but not me. No, not the MMA spokesman. Admittedly, I said Aspinall would win by submission, but I also pointed out that people were sleeping on his boxing skills while hyping up Sergei's. Tom's boxing turned out to be just as good, if not better. Well, guess what? He proved he's not only better but better by a landslide. Now, people are saying he would destroy Jon Jones. So let's get one thing straight. Tom Aspinall is incredibly talented, but Jon Jones is Jon Jones, and people seem to forget just how good that man is at fighting. Maybe he wouldn't have beaten Sergei so easily, but Jones would 100% have beaten Sergei as well. So, to say Tom would destroy Jones is almost ridiculous. I would probably favor Tom at this point, but it would definitely be a close fight. Jones would check a lot of Tom's kicks, the ground would be even, so it would be Jones kickboxing against Tom's boxing, in my opinion. Jon has shown he could go into deep waters and make the fight nasty, which Tom hasn't. If Tom can knock Jones out early, I can see him winning the fight, but other than that, I see another Jon Jones decision, picking apart Tom's legs and keeping him at eye poke range and mixing in takedowns, elbows, and everything that makes Jon Jones Jon Jones. Yes, Aspinall seems to shine the brightest under pressure, as he said so himself, but this is Jon Jones we are talking about. If he thought he was nervous fighting Sergei, can you imagine how he would feel walking in against the greatest fighter of all time? I feel it would be very much like the Cyril Garn bout where Garn was in disbelief that he was actually fighting Jones. It's almost like because he's Jon Jones, he saps your will to think you can win on the night. So, what's next for Tom Aspinall now that he's the new interim heavyweight champion? Well, it's clear that Dana, Jones, and Stipe really want the Stipe-Jones fight, and Aspinall said he was looking to stay active. I think he should fight Cyril Garn. Now, I know that Garn said a fight with Aspinall doesn't make sense in an interview with Ariel Helwani as he didn't want to fight him, but now the ball's at the other end of the court because Tom has just taken his spot as the number one guy. The selfish thing to do would be to give Garn someone like Jailton Almeida to test his ground game after getting embarrassed by Jones, but Garn versus Aspinall makes sense in terms of ranking, and it's a fight I personally have wanted to see as it's the two fastest heavyweights going at each other. Regardless, I'd favor Tom in that fight because of his grappling advantage, but it's the fight that makes sense while waiting for Jones to return from his injury. Now, onto last night's main event between Jiri Prohazka and Alex Pereira. I said in my video 2 weeks ago that Pereira would find Jiri's chin with the left hook, and I was sort of right. It didn't put him out cold like I thought, but it hurt Jiri enough to attempt a takedown against the fence, which Alex defended while simultaneously landing a flurry of elbows onto Jiri's head, causing him to fall backward. Like a lot of people initially, I thought it was an early stoppage, but Jiri himself said he thinks it was the right call, and you can't really argue with the man on the receiving end of it. As a huge Pereira fan, I was definitely happy with this result, but I'm disappointed with his call out of Adesanya. I wanted him to move up to light heavyweight and start his own legacy without Adesanya attached to it, and the first thing he did was call out Izzy to a fight at 205 pounds. Just let it be. You're 3-1 against him, he got the last knockout at a different weight class. Don't worry, move on, and fight Jamal Hill, which should make for an interesting bout itself. Again, I'll be rooting for Pereira here, and I can't see Jamal having the success on the feet that Adesanya or even Jiri was having against Alex. Adesanya is an elite kickboxer that throws a lot of feints, and Jiri is so unorthodox, it's harder to read him. But Jamal is just primarily the boxer, a good boxer, yes, but I don't think it's going to be enough to beat Pereira. Pereira's calf kicks are disgusting, and I can see Jamal eating a bunch of them until he can't stand up and has to resort to grappling. By then Alex would have improved even more, so I don't see him being majorly successful there either. I just want Pereira to defend a belt because you can use the excuse that he got KO'd by Adesanya because of the weight cut, but if he loses the light heavyweight belt without defending it, people are going to start to question his credibility again. The dude can do no wrong as of now, and I really want to see him and Aspinall go on good title runs. Who do you think are the hardest fights in the division for Pereira and Aspinall? I'd say Magomed Ankalaev for Pereira and Jon Jones for Aspinall. Everyone else I think he can beat quite convincingly. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe.